let's get started here. And before we do, I just want everybody to know this is going to become a wild conversation, I feel.
Definitely.
So, Sturdy and I both have feelings about both of these movies.
Strong.
We watched Speak No Evil from 2022 and Speak No Evil from 2024. We're going to review them. We're going to start with Speak No Evil from 2022. The story essentially, this is going to be spoilerish just for people, so you all know.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't mind, too bad. No. Let me put that up so everybody sees. So I took a gummy.
Nice.
Get myself prepared for your show. So
yeah, I'm gonna prep after we're done with this one. More.
Well, I want to get started on talking about Speak No Evil from 2022. The story is basically a family, a husband, wife, and their daughter, young daughter, about I'd say 8 or 9, maybe 10. They're out on vacation in Tuscany, just kind of traveling around. They meet they're Danish. They meet another Danish couple.
No, Danish met a Dutch couple.
Dutch couple, that's right. They go, yeah, okay, sorry. They're a Dutch. So the Danish go out and they meet a Dutch couple while on vacation. They become friendly, hang out. The Dutch couple invites the Danish couple to their house for the long weekend. They go, things become sinister, start becoming very unsettling. It becomes a story of like almost control in a way, and how far people are willing to go to keep being polite and to keep being, like extreme politeness or extreme, like almost like kindness, like almost afraid to offend anybody. That's sort of the through line to this movie, both movies really.
Yeah.
And they both, just so you know, are very wildly different endings. One is
they are.
The Danish version, and the 2024 version is the American version, starring James McAvoy in the sinister role. So to kind of kick it off with this one came out in 2022, as we were talking about. It was directed by what was his name? Let me pull it up again so that way I have it. I had it and then I lost it. So Christian Taftrup is what I'm going to say. And then the main stars of it are Morten Buren, Citacel CM Koch. They play Born and Louise, who are the couple who have the young daughter, who meet like Patrick and Karen, who are the characters who are sinister in this one. It's a wild ride. So to kind of kick it off, this is a horror. They're horror movies.
Yes, they are horror and horrific, in the sense of what goes on. But they're really good movies.
Straightforward. It's humanistic, like the threat is humanistic. It's not like this big, like, okay, supernatural elements to it or any monstrous elements. Well, there are monsters. Jesus.
Well, yes.
Let's just dive in. Let's just dive into this one, because
monsters in the sense of people, not monster in the sense of a monster that you're thinking of, like the monster under your bed. So monster in your bed, monster in the closet. Nah, this is a real life monster, human beings.
Jesus, this is my second watch of this movie. It pissed me off just as much as the first. This is Sturdy's first watch. I'm gonna give our ratings now. I gave it a 2.5. You gave it a 4.5.
And you know what's funny, Mick?
What?
I'm ready. That's a 5 for me. This movie's a 5 for me. So, and the reason why. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So before we get deep in conversation, should we go down to the American version, share a rating, and talk about that a little bit? Share a rating about that, and then kind of come back and then talk about both.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So for anybody who's watching this as a clip, you're going to want to come back and check this out. But this is our rating of Speak No Evil from 2022. And now let's give our, and this is going to, again, spoilers. We're going to be talking about Speak No Evil from 2024, again, starring James McAvoy, Scoot McNairy, Mackenzie, can't think of her name at the moment. She's been in a ton of stuff. I like her a lot. She's a very good actor. And I didn't know who the woman who played McAvoy's wife in it was. But it's essentially the same movie. It's essentially the same movie up to a point.
I would say up to a point, and we didn't get there yet. But it's a huge change, or even twist, you could say, right? Would you call it a twist?
It's 100. It's a twist that you feel like I feel like when you, so to kind of give you a point, and this is a spoiler, when the turning point for both movies, where they both go in wildly different directions, is the young boy that the demented family has kidnapped. And you find out like this has all been a ploy for this couple. What they do is they go out, they take children, cut their tongues out, and then just like take those children, like kind of beat him into submission. Very abusive, very disgusting. And this is both across the board, both
Yep.
movies. And then what they do is then so once these kids are like beaten down to just do as they're told, they go out and they go on holiday with these kids and then meet other couples that they realize they test these couples with like different things they do to see if they're submissive people. And then as they feel like they've locked into them, that's when they're like, okay, we're friends, we're gonna, they charm them. Then they invite them out to their house, and that's when they set that couple up to get killed, steal all their stuff, and then take their child and kill the previous child. It's demented, messed up. But again, that's the story. They both take wildly different paths in the way they end.
Honestly, a difference with that too is with with the two is with the American version, they'll kill off the family and kill off the kids or whatever, and just take the new kid. With the other one, remember they were selling the kid to a whole different family.
Yeah. Well, this one
After
they
cut the
were.
girl's tongue.
Well, no. Well, yeah. This one they were. Well, no. Not the girl. They had the girl in the end.
No, they gave her to a different family.
Oh,
remember the guy that came and grabbed her?
The other guy who's doing
came and grabbed her out of the car, and he left and took off with her, and she was driving off with another family.
Yes. So like completely first off, we'll get to that reaction. I let's finish up this one real quick. It is I just want to give our ratings for this one, and then we can get started on both movies, because I'm like trying not to say too much until we're comparing and contrasting.
Okay.
We both gave 3.5 out of this one. I really liked it. I liked it more than the original. And I'll get to why in a second, because the original pissed me off. Naturally, it's what it was meant to do. But it was too unbelievable for me. But anyway, I'll get there. So that's our ratings for Speak No Evil 2024, 3.5 each. All right. I realize this is disjointed, but the turning point for each movie is when you discover who the kid is. The boy that they with. It's Abel in the original movie, and it's Ant in the American version, and which he's wearing a football shirt, and they're in England. Like he's wearing essentially a Giants jersey, and they're in England. It's like, come on. It's like, let's be real. Let's be real.
Really quick, can we speak on that and something that I found strange?
Well, let me finish. I just want to finish the point, because I've been trying to get this out. That's the turning point for each movie, because you find Abel, like the father Bjorn in the movie, who's the submissive jerk off one. Well, they both are actually. He finds Abel dead in a pond where they killed his parents.
Yep.
And then and where I thought they did a better job in the American version, as they're trying to pull out, because like this whole big abusive scene just happened, and they're like disgusted by this family. They're in their car pulling out, and they realize they're getting away from trouble. And he looks, and the father looks back, and he sees him throw the kid into this pond, knowing he can't swim. So he stops it. He's like, he stops the car and then goes back, and he tells them to go. He's like, you go, I'm going back to get him. And they goes back and get him. And that's when the tables are sort of turned on the family. Okay. I'm sorry. I know I cut you off. I just wanted to put that point out.
No, you're good. You're good. My only thing was, I was just gonna say with Ant real quick, with his jersey, he was wearing that every day. And the one family that they didn't say it. Like everybody else had different clothes but him. Nobody said a thing about it.
But not just that, he wore that every day, but he was wearing it in the picture. If I'm correct, remember when he was showing the pictures of him with his family. I thought he was wearing that same shirt.
He may have been.
It's so weird. So like, let's pick these apart a bit. I really want to get into them. So we get these two movies that are wildly different. So the way it ends, I'll just go over so that way we can just go point by point. The way the original 2022 version ends, Bjorn finds Abel's dead body while he goes back to the house to try and get her stuffed animal, his daughter's stuffed animal. She's like super compulsive about it. They're very babying to her and such. So her anxiety goes up if she doesn't have it. It's like a very safety blanket sort of thing for her. I know. At some point, you just got to be like, they're murdering people. We have to go.
You have to be a
parent. You just got to deal. And like I'm watching this, and like, so he realizes, he sees the kid dead. He goes through hell trying to get back to his family, who's stranded on the side of the road, gets picked up by the family, or no, meets with the father, Patrick, and they're on that beach. And he's like, I got your family, like, basically I got your family in the car. Get in the car, you do everything I say. He's like crying, like this Bjorn character. He's like losing his shit. He gets in the car. They're just driving with him for a while, like telling the kid, like the little girl feels like very uneasy. The mother's, and like the guy's like, shut up. You know, he's like being real, like mean to her
Aggressive.
and such, real aggressive, like to the point where like, I just want to keep hitting this guy. And he's in the I'm going to get fuming during this. Bjorn is in the passenger. Her father is in the passenger seat listening to this man. First of all, you have your family in this situation.
Yep.
And you're listening to this man like berate your kid, berate your wife, tell him to shut up, and you're doing nothing. Gonna piss you off all over for that one. But then you get they get to a certain spot, and like Sturdy has said, there's this other family. They grab the daughter out of the car. And
before that though,
oh,
remember
yeah,
when they cut the daughter's tongue out right in front of the parents.
Right in front of the parents. Right in front of the parents.
Basically what happened, the dad tried but didn't try hard. He didn't even try hard. He just did a little bullshit. Then he got punched up a couple times and just stopped. And his wife got
I'm sorry. There's no punching you can do to me that's going to make me okay with what's going on. First of all, I'm not getting in that car. I'm strangling you. Because if I'm strangling you to death, your wife's getting out of that car. When she gets out of that car and you're dead, I'm going to murder her next, and then my family's gone. I will do anything I can. Like, I don't care. Yeah. I'm sorry. Like, that's how mad this movie made me. There's no
job though, man. And that right there is what I enjoyed about it, is because it gave me that emotion. It gave me that, like, it gave you that sense of like, how the hell are you a parent? How are you a husband? How are you a wife? All that, and let all this go down. Because yes, you could put it on the husband, but it's like the wife is the number 2 in position. If she sees he's not stepping up, you need to step the fuck at the very least for your fucking child. She started to later in the movie, but there was a lot of things.
Did she? Like, she talked back because she was like kind of oblivious to what was going on.
But she was at least saying something.
Dude, first of all, if my kid is in bed with you're naked, like he was naked in that bed with that with the daughter. Yes. Like, I'm gone. And yeah, I don't feel bad about it. First of all, I'm gone after I've whooped your ass all up and down your own home.
Well, you remember though, Bjorn didn't go in. He was sleeping. The mother went in there and found the daughter was in the room. I don't think she told him.
I thought she did tell him, because they did say something in the American version. So I did just rewatch the 2022 version. I thought she did at least say, and he's just such a pussy in the movie. And I don't care. Like, say whatever you want. I don't mind sensitive, but this is beyond sensitive. You should be mad. If you are like this in life and this actually exists, I feel so bad for you. I feel horrible for you, because you need to figure it out. If you let this happen, and you let this happen to people you care about, because you're just weak, because this isn't politeness. This isn't kindness. No. This is weakness.
And there's a difference. There's one thing where you fight, and you may lose your life, and you tried. But to just sit there,
there's no other response. That's the thing. Like, there's fight or flight. Yes, there's other natural instinctual reactions we have physically, but there is never because at the end they force the couple to undress after their daughter's tongue was cut out and taken right in front of them, taken away, gone. Yeah, they don't know where they're going.
And we had this conversation behind the scenes, because we were talking about this movie for the past few days. Again, if it would never get that far, but if it gets that far, why would I even listen to you? You just took everything from me. So now I'm going to try my best to take everything from you. And if I can,
it's not, but like, and even if like you're saying this isn't us, so we wouldn't understand this type of reaction, it's still not a real reaction. You wouldn't let them take you after they just took your daughter. Your daughter's gone. Again, your daughter's gone. They cut her tongue out and took her from you, and she's gone. So your only option is to fucking kill them and to go find your daughter at any means necessary. Even though you let her get, I'm not even going to get into that, but like, now you're in a quarry. They drove you to a quarry. They don't have guns. There's no guns on them.
They have nothing.
They have nothing. There's no weapons or guns. This guy has just established his dominance, and so did the wife, on these two, that they are just like afraid and weak. And like, okay, it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be weak. I'm not even saying that. But this is a weakness that your body will not react to. They make them strip down and then walk into the quarry as they stone them to death. And and they both just lay down. It's not like they're running. It's not like they're scrambling to not get hit. They are taking the hits and then lay down and let them stone them to death as the daughter is being taken somewhere else. Like,
they gave up.
That's not like it.
But then I can't even say
it's fine. But giving up in a sense is, I'm giving up. I know I'm going to lose my life, so I'm going to try. That's giving up. Or giving up to a sense that's like, I can't physically move. I can't do anything. Like I'm so hurt, so beaten, so torn, and then just succumbing to your, like, understandably, because you have already done something. This wasn't. This was comply, comply, comply. And I
But it was
don't
like that.
understand how anybody has that reaction after the shit that they put them through.
Yeah. I was gonna say it was like that since day one, though. And then another weird thing, like there's nothing strange about, say you go on vacation, maybe you meet another couple and you're not friends, but you're just like, hey, let's, you have fun, whatever, let's go grab something to eat. You know what I mean? Something like that, like little couple casual things. But there's no way in hell that I'm gonna meet you on vacation
Yeah. It's
for
gonna
like,
take a while.
and take, even if you hang out 3 times that week or however many days you hang out that week. I don't care if you hang out the whole fucking week. I'm not coming to your house.
No. And that's why I think I like the American version so much more, because we just railed on the other one. So for 2024, because we're kind of rounding out the show, the 2024 version ends very American. They go back, like I said, they do comply a lot. They keep going back. There's sort of challenges. That's what I like about the wife character, the American. I can't think of her name at the moment, but like,
But you know what too, though, was the parents did step up at a turning point, but the boy too was also like,
the boy too. Yes, the boy was,
he
that
did a
was a
lot.
very American reaction. Like, I'm not gonna let this happen.
The boy is the hero of this film.
100%. And that's what I want to touch down on before we move on or do anything else. So it ends with, so the ending where the turning point is here, instead of him going back to get the doll, they went back to get the doll. He bitched them out more. He made him climb a ladder, get the doll from, like, they really just screw with his family. Mackenzie Davis, that's her name in a character who plays the Scoot McNairy's wife, the American wife in it, does a great job the entire time of almost challenging McAvoy's challenges. He won't, Scoot McNairy's character won't. He just does everything. He's like complying until it's time to not comply, until it, like, literally, like, it's a visceral reaction. He has to do something. He has to fight or it's over. And again, I can take flight in a movie. I can take fight in a movie. If, like, they were running around, like, maybe they got all the way naked, but as soon as that first rock hit, they were like, we have to run. And like, they just couldn't help. Like, she got hit in the head, maybe died, and then like he went back to fight and they killed him. That's a more believable story. Or like, they just caught them.
Or,
And
I mean, you could say that, or like, if they made it look better or more believable, I guess, when they're getting stoned, like, say if she got hit in the head first, got knocked down, he just was like, you know what? I give up. I'm at least going to shield her.
Yeah.
Then I get that as well. But again, I still like that one better. I still like her better. But
and the cool part about all of it is with the American version, for me, that I really liked was the stoning. They did pay it off, because the young boy aunt who was trying to warn the kids, warn him the whole time, as being real dismissive and being just really fighting back. And like, McAvoy is so terrifying in this movie. He is an abusive dad in this movie. Like, I don't know what he called on, but like, he was scaring me in this movie. And like, he's a type of guy that, like, I understand and I'm afraid I would ever turn into. Like, I'd be terrified, because like, it's so easy for somebody to become like this, that type of monster. And like, the kid in it does such a great job of an abused child, which I recognize as well, and a little bit too much with the blonde hair and the blue eyes. So it was just one of those movies that really spoke to me. And his face at the end, because they pay off the stoning at the end, they overcome them, James McAvoy's character, they take him down, and like, he's still challenging them, and then the boy smashes his face with the brick. He gets his, like, justice for all the abuse that this kid went through. And they drive off, and this kid's just sitting in the car, and you see this terrified face. The only thing I can compare, I'm not comparing the movies, I'm not saying the movies are on the same level, but the only thing I can compare that face to, that was so well acted and so well done by this kid, is this movie called Come and See, which is the hardest movie anybody will ever watch. I guarantee it. It's horrifying, and it's the hardest movie anyone will ever watch. You will walk away from that hurt and demented a little bit more. So just by saying that, but like, the boy's face in that, it was very reminiscent. It was just the trauma surging through, shine through. It was wonderful acting, really well done. I think McAvoy killed it. I liked Mackenzie Davis in this. The little boy was very good. Everybody did a great job.
I'll say for both movies, there was really good acting.
Yeah. I just did not like that ending. I just think that ending is bullshit.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't even care about the tragic ending, because you're not even, it's they're getting killed in that first movie in 2022 isn't a tragic ending for them. It's the tragedy is the little girl.
Yeah.
When you see it
100%.
later, and it's such the only thing I will say, the book, not bookend, but like the sort of like opposite approach they took to the ending, where you're like zoomed in on the little girl, clearly can't talk, tongue cut out, and she's just submitted to the life that she's in, and they're driving up to a new place to go to the next con and whatever, and then you end it with the little boy in the car being brought to safety, realizing that all of this terror is over. That to me was a good payoff after the 2022 version. That was tragic of an ending
so
for me.
That is fair, but my reasoning for liking the other one better is because, like, the 2024 version, yes, leading up, everything leading up, but it had the happy end. It had the happy ending to an extent, because there's nothing happy about what happened. Of course, if it's real life, there's gonna be trauma and all that other stuff. But again, for the movie, it had a happier ending. But for the other one, like, that one's gonna stick with me a lot more. You know what I mean? Like, that one I'll think about so much more. That one I'm gonna carry with me more. That one is the one that I'm gonna recommend to people more. I just liked it better. I think because it's more horrific at the end of the day. Like, fuck the parents, but like that child gets taken away.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't even care about them. It's the fact that the child wasn't protected.
Because you could even think about it from. Oh, well, actually, no, I want to go back to this. In both movies, one thing that I did really, really love, and I felt like it was one of the hardest lines I've ever seen in a movie, is when, "Why are you doing this to us? Because you let me. Not because I can, not because you're home, not because you were here, because you let me."
And that that was some cold shit. And they delivered both those lines, and they both did it effectively. But that 2022 version, the fact that it's after the daughter's tongue getting cut off, the daughter getting taken,
all that,
and they're stripped down nude, they're officially at the end of this journey. They're gonna die. Like, there's no way you think you get out of this, because they've just made you strip down in a quarry by yourselves at night. What's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
So, and the fact that the first thing you want to know is, and like, you're right, that line was delivered perfectly in that movie, and it pisses me off even more because it's like, because you did let him. So,
but and I want to see. And here's the thing, people: if you've watched both of these movies, or if you haven't, I suggest you watch them both. Honestly, seriously, you can compare them. But think about, like, if a week later, 2 weeks later, a month later, which one are you still thinking about? You're gonna be thinking about that one that really left that bigger impact. Like, I mean, for me at least.
But that's the beautiful thing about it. I get it, but I'm also coming from the perspective of James McAvoy. Really reminded me. It was very familiar, and it scared me. So that stuck with me quite a bit, because even like the other dad did too. The other dad, the guy who played Patrick, because he was Patty in that movie, McAvoy, but then Patrick, the Dutch dude, when he goes into the kid's room at night and he's screaming at him, he's like, "Stop crying!" And he's yelling. That's happened to me, and when I listen to that, I'm like jumping like that. But what drives me nuts is, that's the dad that kid would turn into McAvoy. So that's where I see like a correlation in this movie. That's the dad that would the kid would turn up to be McAvoy. And that's what scares me. It's just that generational, it feels so familiar and stuff like that. So like, these movies are really well done. I do think you should watch both for both perspectives. I don't think anybody should write off the American version as just American version, and like,
not at all.
I think it's well done. I think it's well acted, both of them, and I think they just take different routes. And I do think that an American version would end like this. I'm sorry, and this isn't, I do love fucking America, but whatever. Like, and I'll say it, but I don't think an American. This is a Straw Dogs ending, and I like this remake. And Straw Dogs, great movie too if you haven't seen. But yeah, that's my stance.
I mean, I'll tell you like this, people. My revenge in this type of situation would be go watch I Saw the Devil. See the end of that movie.
Yeah, well, I do watch Straw Dogs too.
Yes,
if you do like this movie, watch both those movies. Those movies are very good for what we're talking about here.
Disgusting, because that one, right? Because honestly, I don't want to spoil it, but just saying what happens in the beginning of I Saw the Devil, and then the way that it ends, that revenge is sweet.
It is. It's so good. All right, let's move on. So we're finishing out the show, guys, because we're going to be getting on a sturdy show.